Have you ever had the feeling that someone's misplaced word or thoughtless attitude ruined your entire day? Sometimes it can just be a rude comment, an unexpected criticism, or even a small setback that destabilizes everything. It's frustrating, yes, but there is a truth that many people ignore. No one has the power to control how you feel, unless you give that power away. Now imagine what it would be like to go through the day with such solid calm that not even the most irritating situations could shake you. Imagine walking lightly, even when everything around you seems to ask you otherwise. This is not fantasy. This is called emotional dominance, and it's within your reach. In this episode, we explore transformative lessons to help you stop reacting on impulse, abandon anger, and regain control of your emotions. It's not about pretending that everything is fine or repressing what you feel, but about learning to deal with life with more inner strength, clarity, and balance. You will discover practical strategies for dealing with criticism, setting limits, and letting go of the grudges that steal your peace. In the end, you will have a new look at yourself and the world in your hands, with confidence, control, and emotional lightness, even in the midst of chaos. If you are ready to conquer the true emotional freedom, a life where no one else dictates your mood or state of mind, take a deep breath. Your journey to mastering your emotions starts now. Understand at once, your reactions are your choice. Imagine you're having a peaceful day, having a coffee or walking in the park, and someone makes a rude comment. Suddenly, your calm disappears, replaced by anger or frustration. You think, why did this person ruin my day? But the truth is that she didn't ruin it. You were the one who reacted. No one has the power to control how you feel unless you let them. Your emotions are your responsibility, not anyone else's. The world will throw challenges, people will provoke you, but the way you react is your decision alone, and that is precisely where its true power lies. Think of it this way. You're wearing noise-canceling headphones in the middle of a noisy city. The chaos is still there, horns, screams, voices, but it no longer affects you. Learning to control your reactions works the same way. External noise doesn't need to invade your inner peace. There is a powerful wisdom that says, between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose, and in that choice lies our freedom. In other words, you don't need to react in the heat of the moment. You can pause, and in that pause, you find power. The next time someone irritates you in traffic or unfairly criticizes your work, try stopping. Breathe, reflect. You can choose not to get carried away. Mastering your reactions is not about remaining silent. It is about deciding what your peace is worth or not. You have more power than you realize. You can choose calm over chaos, strength instead of impulsiveness. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine that during a meeting, a coworker ignores or dismisses your idea in front of everyone. Instead of reacting with anger or going through the day resentful, stop for a moment, breathe, ask yourself, is this really about me? Or is it his stress or his ego talking? By reframing the situation, you change the emotional impact it would have on you. That's the beauty of self-control. It's not about repressing emotions, but about recognizing that feeling is not the same as reacting. Anger, frustration, disappointment, they are all human, but none of them need to determine your next step. A simple strategy can help you practice this on a daily basis. First, pause and identify the emotion. Name what you feel: anger, hurt, irritation. This act alone reduces the automatic impulse to react. Second, ask yourself questions. What exactly bothered me? Was it what the person did or what it brought out in me? This self-reflection breaks the cycle of reactivity. When you choose to respond with awareness rather than impulse, you not only protect your peace, you strengthen your identity. You start to live by principles, not by triggers. And this is one of the greatest freedoms anyone can achieve. In every situation in life, there is an invisible space between what happens and how you react. In this space, your freedom lives. You can act based on the heat of the moment, or based on your values and the peace you want to cultivate in the long term. The choice is always yours. Now imagine what it would be like to walk through life without being shaken by thoughtless comments, rude attitudes, or small setbacks. This is possible when you take control of your reactions. The behavior of others does not define who you are. Your answer, yes. When you choose calm, you achieve something greater than emotional dominance. You achieve inner freedom. Another important point is to stop expecting people to act as you would like. Often, when we need someone most, we are faced with absence or coldness. This creates frustration. But remember, people act according to their own beliefs, stories, and limits. Not everything they do is about you. Imagine a colleague who keeps interrupting you in meetings. Instead of boiling over or trying to teach a lesson, try to see that this behavior probably reflects something of his own. Anxiety, a need for attention, or even insecurity. It's not personal. It's not about you. By letting go of the expectation that others will change to fit your worldview, you free yourself from a huge burden. As ancient wisdom says, expectations are the root of all suffering. The less you wait, the more you preserve your peace. Let's do a practical exercise to free yourself from expectations. First, acknowledge your assumptions. When someone bothers you, stop and ask yourself, what did I expect this person to do? Second, challenge that expectation. Is it really realistic to expect others to act exactly as you would? By shifting your focus to what you can control, your own reactions, you begin to preserve your peace. The rude stranger, the friend who forgot to respond to you, the distracted colleague, none of them have the power to destabilize you unless you allow them to. The less you expect, the freer you feel. Remember, people are not the way you want them to be. They are the way they are. Accepting this is not conforming, it is protecting your mental health. The next time someone frustrates you, stop and think, that attitude reflects who they are, not who I am, and that's okay. This awareness frees you from the emotional weight that others use to place on you. Another essential point, let go of the need to always be right. Think about the last time you got into an argument just to prove a point. It could have been something silly or something serious. And how did you feel afterwards? Was it worth the energy? Often, the need to win debates arises from insecurity, as if being wrong makes us less valuable. But here's a transformative thought. Would you rather be right or live in peace? Insisting on convincing others generates tension and feeds the ego. Letting go of this fight already protects your peace and strengthens your relationships. Often, all the other person needs is to be heard, and all you need is to choose not to react. If someone accuses you unfairly, your impulse will be to defend yourself. But before you answer, take a breath and ask yourself, is it worth my energy to prove this person wrong? Does it change something important in my life? In many cases, the answer will be no, and this reasoning alone brings relief. For example, if a friend insists that their way of solving a problem is better than yours, instead of debating, you could say, I understand your vision. I respect the way you see it. This simple gesture diffuses conflict and keeps your energy protected. As the philosopher Lao Tzu says, he who is stuck in his views will never grow. Letting go of the need to be right is not weakness, it is wisdom. It's not about keeping quiet, but knowing when it's worth talking. Choosing when to engage and when to step back is a powerful emotional skill. Adopting the mindset of a Stoic starts with a simple gesture, a pause. The next time you feel like arguing, stop. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? Not every provocation needs a response. Sometimes silence is wiser than any argument. Second step, seek to understand instead of winning. Instead of arming yourself for a fight, ask questions. Try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. This attitude generally reduces tension and shows emotional maturity. The true wise man listens before reacting. Third step, choose your battles. Not every disagreement needs to be resolved right away or in your own way. Save your energy for what really matters, for conversations that involve your values or affect something meaningful. The rest? Let it pass. This is emotional freedom. Over time, you will realize how much easier it is to live this way. When you stop trying to control every conversation or prove every point, others stop controlling their emotions. You exchange pride for peace, and that is real power. Your value is not in winning arguments, but in how you act even when challenged. Your strength lies in maintaining your energy, responding wisely, and preserving your inner peace. Next time you want to argue, ask yourself, will being right make me happy? Or will being calm make me better? Another important point, don't let other people's words define who you are. Imagine you enthusiastically share an idea and someone interrupts with an ironic comment. Suddenly, your confidence collapses. This happens because we often give more weight to other people's opinions than to our own value. But here's the truth. Your worth doesn't depend on the approval of others. It is not praise or criticism that determines who you are. When you give this power away to others, you become a hostage to their emotions. True emotional freedom comes when you take back that control. Imagine a colleague criticizing your work in a harsh and unfounded way. Instead of feeling diminished, stop and think, is this about me or is it about him? By separating criticism from your identity, you protect your energy and remain focused on what matters. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "We all love ourselves more than others, but we care more about their opinion than our own." This doesn't mean ignoring all feedback, but knowing how to filter what really contributes to your growth. Constructive criticism is valuable, but empty judgments, these don't deserve a place in your mind. When someone says something that hurts you, it's natural to want to react on impulse. But before that, stop. Breathe. This pause is powerful. It gives you the chance to choose how you respond rather than letting emotions speak for you. True strength lies in responding with awareness, not anger. Then separate facts from opinion. Ask yourself, does what this person said have any truth, or is it just their view? Often what hurts is not what was said, but the weight we give to it. Focus on what can help you grow and discard what only wants to bring you down. The third step is the most important. Reaffirm your value. You don't need anyone's approval to be who you are. Your value does not come from what people say about you. It is intrinsic, unshakable, and independent of other people's opinions. As Lao Tzu said, if you care too much about what other people think, you will always be their prisoner. Letting go of the need for validation is not becoming cold, but becoming free. It means caring about people, yes, but not about opinions that don't fuel your growth. By doing this, you free yourself from an emotional burden that was never yours. The next time someone throws out words that shake your confidence, pause and ask yourself, am I letting this define me? Or can I focus on what I know to be true about myself? This simple reflection gives you back control and reminds you that no one has the power to diminish your value unless you allow them to. True strength is not avoiding criticism, but knowing who you are despite it. When you stop letting other people's words define your identity, you make room for something precious: authenticity, self-confidence, and peace. And that kind of life, nobody can take you away. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful ways to protect your energy. Imagine, in the middle of a busy day, a friend calls asking for help with something he could solve alone. Or a coworker throws a last-minute assignment at you, assuming you'll say yes. You feel the weight of obligation, but also the frustration of having your plans trampled on. Why is it so hard to say no? Because we grow up thinking that refusing is selfish, but the truth is the opposite. Saying yes to everyone all the time is saying no to yourself. Limits are not walls, they are protections. And without them, people end up dictating how you spend your time, energy, and attention. Remember something essential: you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you're always giving without recharging, you'll end up exhausted, resentful, and disconnected from yourself. Limits are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of self-respect, and they also teach others to respect you. Imagine that you are always approached by friends for advice, even late at night. You want to help, but it's draining your energy. Instead of shutting up and feeling overwhelmed, say lovingly, "I care about you, but I need to reserve the nights to rest. Can we talk tomorrow?" This attitude is firm, gentle, and protects your peace. Epictetus said, "Freedom is living as we wish." This does not mean ignoring the needs of others, but consciously choosing where your energy will be invested. It's you deciding what you can offer without sacrificing yourself all the time. Some simple strategies for this. Use statements focused on you. Instead of "you're always bothering me," say "I need quiet after work to recharge." Be firm and consistent. A limit is only respected when you clearly support it. Respect yourself. This encourages others to do the same. As Lao Tzu said, "Those who know when to stop avoid chaos." Recognizing your limits and honoring them avoids unnecessary stress and conflict. Boundaries don't push people away. They create bridges to healthier relationships. The next time you feel overwhelmed or undervalued, ask yourself, have I clearly communicated my needs? Am I respecting my own boundaries? When you prioritize yourself, you not only preserve your peace, but you also offer the world the best version of you. Detaching yourself from the opinions of others is a crucial step towards living with emotional freedom. Imagine you share something you're proud of, but you only receive criticism or indifference. That pang of disappointment arises and can turn into doubt. But stop and ask yourself, why does their opinion have so much weight over me? The need for approval is something we inherit. From a young age, we are taught to seek acceptance, but relying on external validation is like chasing your own shadow. You'll never truly catch up. True freedom begins when you stop allowing the opinions of others to define your worth. Each person sees the world through their own lens, full of experiences, traumas, fears, and judgments. So often what they say about you says more about them than it does about you. By internalizing these opinions, you hand control of your self-esteem into the hands of others. Here's a simple and powerful truth. Its value is not up for debate. It does not depend on praise or criticism. It's something you're born with, unshaken by any external noise. Let's look at an example. You wear an outfit you love, and someone says, "Interesting choice." You can let this comment destroy your confidence, or remember that this person's opinion doesn't diminish your joy. By disconnecting from the need to be approved, you free yourself to live authentically. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "If you want to grow, be willing to look foolish." This sounds harsh, but it is freeing. Growing up often requires following paths that others don't understand. And that's okay. Seeking constant approval is what holds you back. Following your own path is what sets you free. Here are 3 practical steps to letting go of other people's opinions. Question the importance. If someone bothers you, ask, why does this matter so much? What power does this person have over my life? Reaffirm your values. Return your focus to what is important to you, not what others expect. Practice detachment. When criticisms arise, visualize them as leaves in a stream. They pass, they don't stay. Constructive criticism can help you grow. But unfair trials, these belong to whoever issued them, not to you. Letting go of opinions is like using an umbrella in the middle of a storm. The rain, the judgments may fall, but you choose whether you want to get wet. When you anchor yourself to your own internal compass, you remain steadfast, regardless of the perception of others. The next time something shakes your confidence, stop and reflect. Am I living to please others or to be true to myself? By choosing to let go, you regain your freedom, protect your peace, and create a life that no one can take from you. Sometimes what we want most is to react. In the middle of an argument, someone uses harsh or provocative words. You feel your face heat up, your heart accelerate, your thoughts scramble, searching for the perfect answer, the one that will hit you back. But what if instead you simply chose silence? Being silent is not being silent out of fear. It's being silent by choice. It's refusing to play the same game as those who seek conflict. When you choose not to react, you are elegantly saying, "It doesn't affect me. My peace is worth more." Responding with silence requires more strength than any impulsive word. Shows emotional dominance. It shows that you are not available to be manipulated by other people's provocations. And most importantly, it shows that you are the one guiding your reaction, not others. Think of silence as a pause that protects you. It doesn't erase the problem, but it gives you time to clearly see if something really deserves your attention. Most arguments are born out of impulse, and we almost always regret what we said when we didn't think it through. Marco Aurelio already said that the best response to anger is silence, and he knew exactly what he was talking about. Anger feeds on more anger. Silence weakens her. When you choose not to react, you break the cycle of negativity. You rise. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but about choosing wisely when and how to express them. Sometimes, the best way to preserve your energy is to say nothing. And by doing so, you send a much stronger message. Your words do not control me. My peace does. Have you ever experienced a situation where silence was more powerful than any response? If yes, share it with me. Sometimes a simple experience can inspire someone to choose peace too. Have you ever shared something you were proud of, an idea, a project, maybe even a personal decision, and received harsh criticism in response? It's natural to feel tightness in your chest, the urge to defend yourself, or even anger. The first reaction is usually emotional, but what if, instead of seeing criticism as an attack, you saw it as an invitation to grow? Criticism, when interpreted well, can show blind spots, challenge your certainties, and even push you to a new level. Not all criticism is fair, but all criticism can teach you something, even if it's just about how you handle it. The secret is to stop, breathe, and ask yourself, is there any useful truth here? Imagine that you are preparing a presentation and a colleague points out flaws in your work. Your first reaction may be defensive, thinking he wants to sabotage you. But if you pause and reflect, you might realize that he touched on something that could actually be improved. And then, what seemed like an attack turned into a step. Constructive criticism fuels evolution. Of course, not every review deserves your attention. Some come from envy, ignorance, or bad intentions. And that's why learning to filter is so important, absorbing what makes sense and discarding what only wants to hurt you. As a wise man once said, criticism should be like rain, gentle enough to nourish, but not to destroy. Now think of a more personal example. A family member criticizes your life choices, your career, or your style. It's easy to get angry or cut off the dialogue, but you can say something like, "I heard what you said. I'll think about it." This response demonstrates maturity and opens space for reflection without fighting. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said that when someone speaks ill of you, the best response is to admit it. He only talked about these flaws because he doesn't know all the others yet. This is the lightness of someone who is not attached to the image. Who knows that personal value is not in being perfect, but in always being under construction? Every time a criticism comes, do this internal exercise. What can I learn from this? Is this criticism about me or about the other person? When you change perspective, criticism stops being an obstacle and becomes a stepping stone. Finally, remember, growing is also letting go. Let go of perfectionism, the need for control, hurt or hurt pride. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and waiting for someone else to suffer. Releasing the weight of the past, that is true strength. Have you ever managed to turn a difficult criticism into learning? Share here. Maybe your experience will help someone else grow too. Taking control of your reactions does not mean repressing feelings or pretending that nothing affects you. It means learning to respond with clarity, calm, and presence, even when everything around you tries to throw you off track. True emotional mastery is not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to react. From now on, take these lessons with you. Stop before reacting, set limits that protect your energy, and free yourself from expectations and noise that don't serve you. Every time you choose peace over anger, you take a step towards a lighter, more conscious and free life. If this helped you in any way, don't keep it to yourself. Share with someone who may need a little more calm, clarity, and inner strength. And if you have any tips or personal experiences on how to maintain peace even on difficult days, leave them in the comments. It will be amazing to learn from you too. And of course, if this content made sense, it helps me spread this message. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell so you don't miss the next episodes. Leave a like if this touched you in any way. Thank you for walking with me this far. Remember, emotional freedom isn't something you get there. It's a daily practice. Keep showing up for yourself, even on the hard days. Take care of your peace. And until next time, take care, stand firm, be carefree.